And welcome into this ice cream challenge. Yes, the 2020 ice cream challenge. We are back, the one and only. It is day 2. Max Kelton joined alongside by Matt the Tank Lewis. Now, Matt, you set the record yesterday. Now you're here with me in the broadcast booth, and boy, are we in for a great day 2.
Oh, absolutely. It was a great slate of competition yesterday. And I'll tell you what, I'm even more excited for today's slate. We got some key matchups, especially the last one. Keep an eye out for those two guys to be in there.
Well, the marquee matchups, I think the first matchup today and the last matchup today, right? That first matchup between Stuart and Andrew F. Those are the two guys who this ice cream challenge is kind of based on. Talk about that story a little bit, Matt.
Absolutely. Thanks, Max. So this is actually the conception of this idea came from these two competitors. They've always bragged about being able to eat the most ice cream. And we've always, within our group of friends, said who we thought could win. And we always wanted to do an ice cream challenge. And with the downtime we had with coronavirus shutting us down and going shelter in place, we decided to actually live stream it. And then instead of 2, we said, why not 10? And instead of 10, why not 12? And then instead of 12, let's do 32 and make it bracket style. So here we are today.
Yeah, here we are today, 32 competitors. Now, this is a March Madness style bracket where competitors will compete 1v1 to see who can finish a pint of ice cream quicker. Now, this bracket's going to go on over the next 4 weeks here, Matt. And ultimately, it's going to commence, and it's really going to be, it's going to reach its peak with that final matchup, that court-sized matchup. That's really what we're looking forward to.
Well, Max, actually, the finals is going to be a half gallon. It's the semifinals that's going to a quart. And so we're going quart at the semifinal mark, and we're going half gallon at the finals. And it's really going to be a test of will right there to see who can really stomach through a half gallon of ice cream.
Half gallon of ice cream. That's a lot of frozen milk. But let's talk about yesterday's performances. So yesterday, the first day of competition, we had 8 winners, 8 losers, 8 matches altogether. So 16 competitors facing off. Some went home victorious. Those that went home victorious, out of those, only a couple stood out, one of them being yourself. A few others, Tim Busbin, he had 48 seconds. Shobin had a good performance as well, 66 seconds for a pint of ice cream. So we've seen some impressive performances, and we've seen some unique techniques. Talk about what we've seen so far throughout this competition and how people are kind of setting themselves apart from their competitors.
Yeah, there has definitely been some different techniques. My brother Mark in the first match really introduced the 2-spoon technique. He was having one sit in warm water while he ate with the other and then doing the switch. We only had one person that won with that. That would be I believe that was the second match or the third match that Jacob. He was able to pull through. So it's different matches. My other brother Tim, he did the hold it to the face and shovel it in. Tim Busman also did that. He called it the chug, and he had a really great time as well. I went with the method of getting as big of a spoonful as possible and just swallowing it as quickly as possible.
Does the brain freeze kick in? How much is it a factor?
It is a huge factor for some people. I think for me, I went so fast that I just skipped through the brain freeze section and I got a stomach freeze. But definitely been a factor for some people. There has been some toothache happening post-tournament, post-competition. About 2 or 3 hours later, some toothache sets in. And so it's definitely something to watch out for.
Yeah, certainly. These competitors are setting their teeth on the line for this competition, setting their bellies, their heads, but they're risking it all to eat a pint of ice cream. We are very close to getting underway for day 2 of action. Before we do that, all proceeds here do go to COVID-19 relief, and you can Venmo Dragon Daddy if you would like to donate. And please, if you enjoy our content, what we're doing here, and who we are donating to, follow us on Instagram at Ice Cream Challenge 2020. We are just about ready to get underway, inviting our first competitors in, and I'm going to send this one over to Matt Lewis to do just so. Or pardon, to Matt Organista, I should say, to do just so.
We got 2 Matts here, so yeah, we got 2 competitors. I'm going to go ahead and let them in. They're in the Thawing Room. Matt Lewis, you want to briefly explain what's going on with the Thawing Room?
Yeah, so the Thawing Room is an area where people can take out their ice cream, sit in a room, and wait to be entered into the competition. We don't want the ice cream to be too hard, and we don't want it to be too soft, so we have an allotted 15 minutes for thawing. And they about a 10-minute sit in the thawing room, and they take their ice cream out 5 minutes early.
And now we have Stuart and Andrew, our first matchup of the day, and we welcome them into the Zoom call. We are grateful to have you guys on here. Now, this is where it all started. What is riding on this matchup today, guys?
Pretty much life itself, you know. It's just bragging rights, you know. Like you said, this was the start of it, and Stuart and I, it's been a long time coming, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk, but we have never actually done it. So a lot's about to be settled right now.
Yeah, Stu, we thank you for coming on. Now, I hear you're a second-degree black belt, similar to my dad. He's in Kempo. But I do want to talk to you about how you attack this ice cream challenge today versus attacking one of your competitors.
Mind over matter. It's going to be cold. Your teeth are going to hurt. It's going to be tough at times, but you just got to keep going.
Now, Andrew, I hear you're susceptible to brain freeze. We've seen it plague a couple of our competitors so far throughout this competition. How do you plan to push through?
You know, it's exactly right. You just said it, push through. You just have to embrace the pain at some point, you know, and just mind over matter, like Stuart said.
Now, Matt, I'm going to send this one over to you. Give me some expectations for this matchup. You know these two guys. Who do you see taking the victor?
Oh, man, this is going to be a close matchup. I did fill out my bracket, and I do have to go with my childhood friend, Andrew Foray here, with a slight edge.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Andrew Foray, you get the nod right there. And this is coming from the man who set the record in this competition yesterday, 39 seconds. Now, Andrew, do you plan on beating that record or simply beating Stuart?
You know what? I'm going to go for the record, but I got to say that was an impressive feat Matt did yesterday. Not going to promise anything, but under a minute is what I'm shooting for. You know, that would be the goal, but, you know, I'm just going to go all out, see what I can do.
Stuart, it sounds like the odds are against you. Are you ready to prove some people wrong?
I am. I'm very comfortable being the underdog. I agree with Andy, though. I think the 1 minute mark is kind of the golden zone that everybody shoots for. Anything lower than that is bonus. But I think the 1 minute mark is kind of, if you don't make it there, what are you doing in this competition?
That's a great point, Stu. We thank you for that point. Now, right before we're going to get into this competition here, we're going to take a look at the ice cream that you're eating. Andrew, what are you eating today?
Today I have chosen the vanilla Haagen-Dazs. It's classic. I've had it many times before. I like the flavor. It's not too strong. I think it'll go down smooth, and I don't think it'll be too rich. So I think it's a good choice.
Stu?
What kind of utensil are you using, Andrew?
I'm rocking the Kroger. The generic Kroger, vividly vanilla. I went with the generic brand. I feel like it's got a better melting point once you start going. So I think that's going to give me a little bit of an edge.
I like the strategy.
Yeah, Matt, we're seeing a vanilla v vanilla matchup for today's first matchup of the day. Does it make a difference whether you're eating vanilla, chocolate, or anything in between?
I think the best time so far have come through vanilla. I think the chocolate's just too rich for the competitors.
Well, it looks like we're going to not see that chocolate in today's first matchup. I'm excited to see where this one takes us. I'm going to send it over to Matt Lewis to give you the countdown. Matt Organista to give you the countdown.
All right, guys, here we go. We got a 5-second countdown. Ready? Lids off, spoons in hand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
We are delidded and underway, second day of action, and we're seeing Stuart Giada here going with the fork technique, first in this competition, but might be able to slice through that ice cream a little bit quicker. Looks like he's really digging in. Here's Andrew looking to maintain that presence right there, but unable to really dig into the middle of his ice cream quite yet. Both of them going vanilla v vanilla today. Matt, anybody looks like they're taking a lead here for you?
It looks like Stuart's really pushing through here. He's got some that keeps sticking to the fork, spears, but it looks like he's really coming through strong here. And they both got a little in their beard, that's for sure.
And that's what matters here. We love seeing that milk drop on their beards. Now, this is the competition that really this whole competition rides on. This is what it's based on. So there's more than just moving on to the Sweet 6 cream at stake today. There is bragging rights.
Oh,
and we are done. What a win by Stuart Giada. Oh, man.
56. We had 56 seconds. 56 seconds.
Sub
1 minute.
That was great.
Sub 1
Stuart.
minute.
Fuck.
Wow. Nicely done.
Get that brain
I
freeze.
mean-
Just couldn't power through like I wanted to. Ugh.
That is exactly where you wanted to be. That's what you had practiced for. That's what you had trained for. What
Man.
does that training mean on a today of all days where you came out against this fierce competitor?
Well, I'll be honest. That's actually the personal best right there. I'm gonna
Oh man.
put a little bit of it on adrenaline. I'm gonna put a little bit of it on the strategy of the fork. And it's also about 90 degrees here, and I have turned off the air conditioner. I have opened up the doors, and I went with the beanie and the flannel to keep the body temperature up. And I think that helped combat the brain freeze.
Oh, man.
I was mesmerized by that fork technique. What compelled you to go with something so unique for this competition?
Well, I read the rules, and the rules said you could use one utensil, a spoon, a fork, or a knife. And I did almost all my practicing with the spoon. And then I second guessed, and I was like, well, why was that put in there? I figured I'd try the fork. And you know what? It worked. That's what I did.
Andrew,
Yes.
this could be a disappointing loss for you. How do
It
you move
really
on
is,
from
man.
something
I know.
like this?
I let a lot of people down. Sorry, I gave it my all. You know, Stuart just came out. You know, I give him respect, man. He's a tough competitor, but you know, I left it all on the table, and I got no regrets.
Matt Lewis, I'm sending it over to you.
Yeah, Stuart, I do have to say I love your shirt. A shout out to the Alpaca Boys. Stuart, so you're going to be you don't know who you're going to face in the next round, but are you going to stick with the fork technique?
I'm going to stick with the fork. I like it. I think it, well, I don't want to give away too much of the secret of why I went with the fork. If people want to try the fork out, go for it by all means, but I'm going to stick with the fork.
I mean, after a strong performance with the fork today, the spears, it looked like you were able to slice through that ice cream pretty well. I would not be surprised to see a couple more competitors with that fork as well. Now, Matt, this was the matchup of the day that we are waiting for. We're also waiting for that final matchup of the day. But is this the way that you expected this one to kind of turn out? You had Andrew going ahead early on. That was your prediction, but it ultimately went to Stu.
You know, I only gave a slight edge to Andrew. I know they're both fierce competitors. I know they both love their ice cream. And to be honest, you know, sometimes you just got to tip your cap. Great job, Stuart. You really came out today and performed. And congratulations on your victory. It's very great. And, you know, I did see a little bit of buildup on your fork. Do you think that slowed you down a little bit? No. I meant during the competition.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, I was actually getting the same buildup on a spoon. And
okay.
I was actually getting worse. And I think the fork allowed me to get more of the buildup off, you know, before the pint was gone.
Excellent.
Didn't have to spend time gumming it.
And we are grateful to have both of our competitors here today, kicking off day 2 of action of this 2020 Ice Cream Challenge. Stu, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us, guys.
My pleasure, guys.
Thank you,
Congratulations, Stuart. Good job, man.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, that was good. It was fun. Hey, finally settled it.
Hey,
So
we'll do it again.
Let's do it again. Hey, I'm ready for the rematch whenever. Rematch whenever. I'm ready.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right, thanks for
Alrighty,
coming
guys.
on. Feel free to leave the meeting now.
All right. See you guys.
All right. Yeah.
As we move on to match number 2, I am going to send you over to Matt Organista in just a second. But before we do that, we're going to remind you here that you are tuned into the 2020 Ice Cream Challenge.
Second match of day 2 for round 1. Is that correct, guys?
That is correct. We are on the second match, day 2, round 1, and we are ready to see Owen and Ken participating in this one, guys.
Yes.
I do have one thing to say really quickly here. Owen had a bout of food poisoning, and his brother, Emmett Egan, will be stepping in to compete today. We were able to find an alternate. Emmett Egan, his younger brother, will be competing in his stead.
So we're going to see a new matchup today, and this might be a surprise for Ken because he was looking to compete. He was preparing to compete against Owen, and that's a fierce eater right there, but not quite sure how he will prepare for his brother. Now, this is the story of the day here, and that's really what we're looking for. Matt Organista, now we call him the organ donor barista, Matt Organista. Matt, I'm going to send it over to you and talk a little bit about what this journey for the 2020 Ice Cream Challenge is all about.
Yes. All right. So we got our two competitors in the thawing room right now. They're in there letting their ice cream thaw out. I really like that strategy. Who was it? Who put on the sweatshirt? I got them mixed up. What were the two? Two competitors.
That was Brian.
Brian. That's right, Brian. And we'll see if anybody gets that creative for this next round here. So I'm gonna go ahead and let them in, and we'll see what they have to say here.
And right now we're going to welcome in Owen and Emmett.
Ken and Emmett.
Ken and Emmett, even better. Hello.
What's up, Ken? What's up, guys?
Emmett, thank you so much for joining us today. Now you're stepping in for Owen, your older brother. How do you plan to fill in his footsteps?
Some pretty big shoes to fill. My brother's 6'6".
Well, it looks like it's going to be a good matchup today, and we have Ken here with us as well. Ken, what are those flags you're sporting in the background?
America and the Philippines.
And I assume you have a connection to both of those countries? Alrighty, well, it looks like we're in for a good one here. Ken, I hear you have an unlimited eating capacity. How's that going to help you today?
You know, we've been training for the past 8 weeks at higher elevations for the weather, so it's been cold up there. But halfway through, I found out I had a slight cavity in one of my teeth. But unfortunately, all the dentists were closed due to COVID-19.
Yeah, I feel ya. So he's going to be pushing through today. Ken, we hope that your teeth are well after this competition. We hear that there are some side effects after the competition, so make sure you're brushing. Make sure you're taking care of those teeth. Make sure they're strong if you're moving on to the Sweet 6 cream. Before we get into this one, I'm going to take a look at both of the ice creams that you guys are using today. Emmett, we're going to go over to you first.
And don't forget to floss, Ken.
Flossing is crucial. Good for gum health.
So it was a bit of a scramble for me to get some ice cream today. I went into my old job and got what I thought would be a pint of chocolate. It was a little short, not gonna lie. So I combined it with chocolate and mint to make the full pint.
Wow. So a chocolate mint mix. This is the first time we're seeing anything other than chocolate and vanilla. And Emmett, we appreciate the honesty there. Thank you for that. Now it is a fair match. Ken, I'm sending it over to you. What are you eating today?
Little Simple Truth Organic, keeping it Orange County.
Keeping it Orange County as always.
Gotta keep it local. All right.
We have Ken, we have Emmett, and we are just about ready to roll. I'm going to send this one over to Matt Organista here for the countdown.
All right, guys. Tops off, spoons and forks and hands, whatever you guys are using. Here we go. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
And it looks like we are off here. Emmett getting a hefty load in that first spoonful, but Ken, oh man, is he pushing through? He's got that milk around his mouth. It's certainly melted a little bit. Here is Emmett. Emmett's struggling a little bit. It might be that mint chocolate mixture that he wasn't quite prepared for. Looks like Ken is really pulling through right now. Ken's working on vanilla. Emmett might have underestimated. Ken is really pushing through. He might take a big lead. He's almost done with this.
Oh,
Let's finish it off.
41 seconds.
Oh,
41
seconds.
Oh my gosh. Ken Rodriguez. Ken
What
Rodriguez.
Wow.
Pace.
Wow.
Wow. I am almost speechless here, guys. Ken, with the 41-second time, that is almost good enough to be our tournament record time today from Matt Lewis. So, Matt, 39 seconds for you, 41 for Ken. Ken, how did you get that done in such a short amount of time?
Well, ever since I was growing up, my parents told me to slow down. I eat too fast. So this one's for you, Matt. I'm coming for you.
I love it. Ken, we're excited to see what you could do in the Sweet Six Cream. Matt, what do we have for these guys?
Man, I'll tell you what, Ken, I am really, really impressed. You really took it up to the next notch. 2 seconds behind my time. I can't wait to face you later down in the competition.
And that's going to be a great matchup that we're excited to see. So we've seen some pretty great times, two of them on the screen here. And Emmett, you struggled a little bit through this one. Was it the mix of mint and chocolate for you?
You know, the mix is all right. I can handle that. It's it's my first time trying to speed eat ice cream. Maybe just caught a little off guard. But, you know, it's probably the coolest thing I've done today anyway.
The coolest and the coldest.
The coolest and the coldest. The brain freeze is real. That is no joke.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well, once again, we are grateful to have both of you guys on. Grateful that you were able to compete today. Emmett, thank you for stepping in as that alternative. And we're, like I said, thank you for competing. But this was a great matchup. Ken, Emmett, I'm excited to see you soon. Ken, thank you for tuning in. And we'll be seeing you in the Sweet Six Cream pretty soon. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Matt, that was a great one. And Ken almost beat your time. What do you have to say about that one?
Yeah, it was really impressive. It definitely has me thinking I got to go back and review the tape, see where I can improve, trim the fat off my own time, and really get to sub 30 seconds here.
Now that was a very quick one. It might have been a little unexpected almost. Ken here, we saw that he was preparing for Owen. He got Emmett instead. It didn't seem to faze him very much. Was that, other than your performance, the best performance that you've seen throughout this competition?
I think it has to be. I think it's not only the best and strongest performance, but it's also the most unexpected. He really came in here today and showed the whole world how fast he can eat ice cream.
Now, Matt Organista standing in with us as well. Matt, what'd you take on that one?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty impressive. I saw him start out pretty strong, and he was just putting it down real quick, and I had to jump back on the screen. I had to watch very carefully because he was going real quick. So definitely impressed by that one. Matt, you better be careful, man. He's going to give you a run for your ice cream here.
I'll tell you what, I'm going back to the drawing board here and definitely going to think about, different tactics and where I can trim the fat there.
Well, it's no time to be complacent as we prepare for the Sweet Six Cream. But before that, we have 6 more matches here for day 2 of the 2020 Ice Cream Challenge. Matt Organista, I'm going to send this one over to you.
All right, we are going to take a quick look. If you guys want to give your guys' input on the brackets, we're going to share those brackets here on the screen, and you can get a little commentary on that.
Seen earlier throughout this competition. Now we're going to start out at the top here. Matt Lewis is with us, and Matt Lewis also holds our tournament record at 39 seconds. Now, Matt, you're going to be facing off against Connor Lewis. This is your nephew, yes?
That is my nephew. It is my brother Mark's son. And you know what? I think I'm just going to have to keep my strategy going forward, not hold back, especially with times like 41 seconds. There's no time to be leisurely, no time to be complacent, no time to not improve my time.
Now we see in that second couple matchups, Matteo Lapini, he finished in 2:31, but he'll be going up against Jacob Gray at 1:09. Jacob Gray, a big performance in the first round. Can he match it in the second round?
I think he can. I know Jacob. I grew up with him, and he is a fierce competitor. He's got that carry mentality, and he's somebody that's going to go out there and give it his all no matter what every time. he's a real gray out there.
We're going to move on to the second half of the bracket that we saw yesterday. And Tyler Berger sits atop that bracket. He faced off against Elliot Sazzone. Now, Tyler Berger, he was a plus 2 minute ice cream eater yesterday. He'll be facing off against Tim Busman, who had one of the most surprising performances of the day.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I do think Tyler Berger is going to be SOL, and Tim Busman will be moving on to the overweight 8. I don't think that Tyler is going to be able to even come close to a minute, let alone, I don't even think he's going to beat his own time of 2:14. So I just don't have any confidence in him at all.
And the next matchup that we're looking at here, it's going to be Shobin versus Mike Wagner. Shobin, he had a lot of personality that we saw in yesterday's competition. He's going to be facing up against Mike, and Shobin has about 41 seconds on Mike's first round time.
Yeah, I think for Shobin, that might be the top of his tier there. And so I really think Mike Wagner has some room for improvement and can really close the gap there. So I'm expecting a solid, even matchup, maybe a slight edge to Shobin.
Absolutely. So we're just about ready to get into our third matchup of the day. This will be Evan against Nick. Now, this is an exciting one. Evan holds the record of Sun Valley swim team for the medley relay when he was 6 years old. And for Nick, he's good at grilling. So Matt Organista, I'm going to send it over to you to invite them in.
All right, we're gonna bring those guys into out of the thawing room and into the competition room. Here they are.
All righty, we have Nick Lynch with us. Nick, how are we doing today?
Oh, we're doing great. Hey, thanks, fellas. Very famous here. So, happy to help a cause, and ready for what Evan has in store for me.
Well, Nick, I hear you're good at grilling, but that has nothing to do with eating ice cream.
Nothing to do with that, but I don't invite me to a strip club because I will fall in love. So don't do that. Yeah.
And Evan, thank you so much for joining us here today. How are we doing today? What's that jersey you got on? Alrighty. Well,
technical difficulties, or Ev?
You hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, let's do this thing.
what's that jersey you got on here for us today?
Well, I got a little Chowders jersey on here, former softball team I played for, giving them a little shout out from the East Bay.
Absolutely.
We hear you are an East Bay legend. Is that true?
I would never say that about myself.
He is. He's
a
legend. I can say that. I've been best friends with Evan for about 10 years now. So he is an East Bay legend. Yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, it looks like we're just about ready to get underway. And Nick, I'm looking at you. It looks like you got that Haagen-Dazs vanilla today. I
do, yeah. Evan and I tried to keep it similar. We both wanted to be an even matchup, and I think this is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, and Evan, you have your bib around your neck. What kind of ice cream are we eating?
Got the vanilla here as well. Would have loved to do chocolate, but 7-Eleven was running a little low.
Alrighty, well, we got Vanilla v Vanilla, and it looks like we're ready to get underway. Matt Organista, here you are.
All right, guys. Tops off, spoons in hand, 5 seconds. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
And match 3 of the day underway. Both of these guys look like they're using that chug technique that we saw from Tim Busman. And it certainly helped him in his matchup. See how it's going to favor for these two guys. Anyone off to a hot start for you here, Matt?
I'll tell you what. I'm really liking Evan's form here. He looks like he's about halfway through. It's pretty tough to see how Nick's doing. I can't see into it. He's got it really close to the mouth here. He's going with the Tim Busman chug. Oh, it looks like we got a brain freeze. We got a brain freeze.
Brain freeze is certainly hitting Nick right there. Evan has some timers in the background that are keeping him posted. Now we're looking for that sub 1 minute range. We're looking like we're getting close to finishing this one up here. Evan almost taking his lead, almost kind of closing this one out, squeezing his fist.
55 seconds, 55 seconds.
Come right back. Thank you, Matt Organista, for the time right there.
Oh, brain freeze.
Nick looking to push through that
And we're
brain
done.
freeze. And it looks like Evan has it done. That'll take it
105,
fantastic.
1 minute,
Lynch
5 seconds. 1 minute, 5 seconds.
with his little milk beer couldn't get it done. Evan, glasses, bib, jersey, ice cream, all for you. How about that performance today, Evan?
I feel terrible. That was great.
I'm gonna go pour some syrup and some sprinkles into this and have a nice full afternoon.
Hey Nick, why don't you get some
Wayne
food there,
Gretzky would be proud of me.
I'm trying. So we won the softball championship, boys. Softball championship right here. I'm representing right here.
That's right. That's the Pro Bay Suns. I am also part of that softball championship.
Right.
Parading through the San Francisco streets. I was wearing a God Bless America jacket. 1996 Olympics. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Nick, were you on that softball team?
I was our 8-hitter. I think you were in Hawaii during the. I think you were in Hawaii during the ship.
Yeah. Well, Nick did miss a fly ball because he was ordering pizza from his phone and didn't see the ball coming.
For his dinner party, I hear.
My ex-girlfriend at the time, hence the ex part of that. So.
Is that why you've been falling in love? Is that why you've been falling in love with the strip club, Nick?
That's why I do that.
Hey, the mustache lives another week.
Evan, that was awesome. Hey, guys, this is great. Thank you.
Nick, thanks so much for joining us. Evan, great win. We're excited to see what you could do in the Sweet Six Cream. Thanks, guys.
Cannot wait to do it again.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming in, guys.
Alrighty,
Thank
Matt.
you, guys.
That was certainly an exciting one. And Evan, with a big performance right there. Matt Organista, what was his official time?
105. 105.
105. That's pretty close to some of the best times up there. So, Evan, a great performance. Like I said, excited to see what you could do in the Sweet Six Cream. Matt Lewis, I'm going to send it over to you. What was your take on that match?
I'll tell you what, it was a really great matchup.
Congratulations, dude. You did it.
Baseball, UC Davis.
Here it is right here.
Quite some time now. And I'll tell you what, I'm proud of both of them. They came in a year behind me. A couple of great competitors. And I'll tell you what, they're great on the softball team as well, but even better eating ice cream.
Well, it was a pretty impressive performance there from Evan. 106, 105. That's a pretty good time right there. So time to beat, for the next matchup, but not the time to beat today. We did see a pretty impressive 41 seconds. We have a couple of minutes here in between the next matchup, and I'm just going to remind people, what are we doing here? Well, welcome in to the 2020 Ice Cream Challenge. Now, this is a March Madness style bracket where 32 competitors will compete 1v1 to see who can down a pint of ice cream quicker than the other. All proceeds here donated to COVID-19 relief. I'm going to send this one over to Matt Organista to talk a little bit more about this.
Yes, we're gonna take a little break, but first I want to read to you guys what organizations we are going to be donating our funds to. First, we have Direct Relief's Coronavirus Response Fund, American National Red Cross, Coronavirus Outbreak Fund, and the CDC Foundation.
And you see your Venmo on the screen here. If you would like to help donate, if you would like to help with benefiting from this COVID-19 relief, please Venmo Dragon Daddy. That is at Dragon Daddy. If you like what we're doing here, please shoot us a follow on Instagram as well at Ice Cream Challenge 2020. We're going to take a quick break. We will be back in just a second. Thanks, guys. back here with the 2020 Ice Cream Challenge. Max Kelton joined alongside by Matt Lewis and Matt Organista. All proceeds here going to COVID-19 relief. Matt Organista, looks like we're going to have Grant and Zach coming in for this next matchup.
Yes, Grant and Zach, they are in the thawing room, and they are waiting to get brought in. Do you guys should we bring them in right now? What do you think?
Let's bring them on in.
All right, let's
do
bring
it.
them in.
Bring 'em on in.
Zach and Grant coming on in.
Now they're in the thawing room right now. The thawing room gives contestants an opportunity to let this ice cream melt a little, let it be easier for slicing through and scooping up. Now we have Grant Nelson on and Zach joining us shortly. Grant, how are we doing today?
You know, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling well rested, well trained. I'm ready to rock.
Now, Grant, I hear you were cut from a Disney movie when you were a child. Talk about that a little bit.
You know, it was really tough. You know, I even did a stunt in the movie. They had to stop the whole take that I was in. No idea what I was doing. Went down and saw it at Disneyland just to have it be canceled about a year later. So, you know, heartbreaking, but, you know, we get past it.
You hate to see it. I would have loved to see you in that film, but it happens for a reason. You're here now, and we get to see you eat some ice cream. Zach, I'm going to send it over to you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So what kind of ice cream do we have on tap for each of you guys?
I got McConnell's out of Santa Barbara.
Yes.
Never had it before, but it looked good.
Yes.
Vanilla, popular flavor, keeping it classic.
So we got the vanilla Haagen-Dazs over here. Zach, are we doing vanilla for you as well?
Vanilla as well, yeah. Vanilla bean.
Now, I'm a little biased. Myself, I'm located here in Santa Barbara, and that McConnell's, that is a local favorite here. First McConnell's that we're seeing through this competition. Zach, I gotta say, I might be pulling for you on this one, simply because of the ice cream choice. Grant, now this is a tough one, and your opponent here, Zach, he doesn't deal well with brain freezes. Do you think you can capitalize on that?
You know, I think that's the one thing that you have to be able to deal well with here. So it doesn't put him in a good spot, I gotta say.
Well, it looks like we are just about ready to get underway. I'm going to send this one over to Matt Organista here for the countdown.
All right, guys, tops off, spoon or forks in hand. You have 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
And we are off. Now, Zach was buried in an avalanche when he was a child, but he ate his way out. So he's certainly used to eating cold things. Grant, on the other hand, he was cut from a movie when,
Yes, he was cut from a movie, and I'll tell you what, it's been a close matchup here. It looks like Zach's hitting a little bit of a brain freeze, hitting the wall, and Grant Nelson is still going strong. He looks like he's hitting a little wall too. I don't know if any of them are going to be hitting the 38-second mark.
Yeah, it looks like Zach is really trying to push through that.
Was not ready for that.
Oh man!
Wow. That was around that was between 36 and 37. 36 and 37.
My goodness. We have a new record for this tournament.
I actually saw that coming. I didn't want to say anything, but I saw that coming.
47 seconds. Very impressive time, and the king has been dethroned, and that king is no longer me.
Wow. I am shocked. Grant, what a performance. How did you pull that one off?
Oh, my God.
I literally felt my head hurting really bad, but, you know, you got to lock in and power through and know that it's temporary. The pain.
This was a tough one. He really pushed the pedal to the metal there. I mean, did you expect 37 seconds from your competitor?
No, I did not expect that at all. I thought I was doing good. I thought based them on, I got this thing, but it's an impressive feat, Grant. Nice job.
I surprised myself. I don't know what just happened there. I blacked out.
Well, it looks like your training video that you put together, Grant, and I do want to give some props to Grant for making that training video, the hype video. You can see it on his Instagram. You can see it on the Instagram for Ice Cream Challenge 2020. Tell me a little bit about that video you made.
You know, it was actually, I didn't even try to make it. I actually just woke up on my front porch while I was training, and there just happened to be a little camera crew of my sister, and just real life. You know, you gotta have the spoon in hand and just train, and you gotta live it. You know, and you know, I think it paid off, and hope to do the same the next round.
Hey, congratulations on your victory there, Grant. Most impressive.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. This is awesome. Thanks for putting this on. I love the attire today.
Oh, thank you. Sunday best, baby.
All
You
right.
bet. Well, Grant, Zach, thank you so much for joining us. A really big performance. Zach, looked like you were on pace right there, maybe against a different competitor. You would have been moving on to the Sweet Six Cream. But Grant, we will be seeing you next week as well. We're excited for it too. Thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks, Zach.
See ya.
Zach, enjoy the rest of your ice cream. Matt, that was a surprising one to say the least. 37 seconds and a new tournament record has been set.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it is very, very, very impressive. I did not expect him to come in and at that time. I did know he's also on my softball team. I know he can put down some food, and he can also hit the softball further than any human I've ever seen in my life. And so I expected big things. I did not quite expect that. And I'm definitely going to have to put some work in this week.
Yeah, Matt Organista, you said that you called it before it happened. Talk to me about your what you saw going on. What was that vision?
He was ready. You could just tell. I mean, he showed up and was ready to go. And I didn't want to say too much, but I just want to let it play out. Wasn't quite sure, but I definitely had a good feeling about that one.
Well, that was a big matchup. That was a big win there. But we're ready to move on to matchup number 5 in just a couple of minutes. You are tuned in to the 2020 Ice Cream Challenge here streaming live on YouTube. I'm Max Kelton, joined alongside by Matt Lewis, Matt Organista. We will take a quick break and we will be back shortly. Thanks for tuning in.
Day 2 of round 1 for the Ice Cream Challenge 2020. I'm joined by Max Kelton and Matt Lewis.
And we are here at the 2020 Ice Cream Challenge. Thanks so much to our organ donor barista, Matt Organista. Thanks so much, Matt. I'm here with Matt Lewis, Matt Organista, and we've had a great day of matchups so far. 4 matchups under our belt. We have 4 more underway for day 2 here, but we've seen some surprising ones, including a new tournament record, Matt Lewis.
Yeah, it was very impressive by Grant. Deemed the best looking guy in the tournament by me. And I'll tell you what, it was very impressive. Not only does he look good, not only can he crush softballs, but he can crush some ice cream, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And Matt Organista, like we said before, you saw that one coming. That was a surprising one for you. Is he the player to beat in this one?
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna go that fast, but you could definitely tell he's ready for it. And we'll see. Like I said yesterday, I think a lot of these times can even come down more as the competition kind of stiffens up and it gets way more competitive and these competitors go head to head. We're definitely going to see some times drop for sure. So we'll see how that plays out. But right now we have 2 competitors in the thawing room, and we'll go ahead and bring them over.
All right, we're going to have Rob and Andrew E coming in. So this has been a pretty exciting one so far. We have another exciting matchup on tap. Here is Andrew with us, and Rob connecting soon. Now, Andrew, you're good at the 3 L's. What is it? Litigation, leverage, and lankiness. Will that help you today?
I don't know, Matt. Or excuse me, Max. I've studied brain freeze rigorously before this competition. I feel like I'm ready to go. I got my pint of ice cream here. It's a Haagen-Dazs 60th anniversary edition. I'm very confident. I feel great.
Yeah, you look confident. You look very composed. Now, on the other hand, we have Rob over here, a gorgeous hat that you have going on. Rob, I'm told that you're great at eating things that are room temperature or warmer. You struggle with eating things 32 degrees.
It's going to be a struggle for real, but I'm willing to do it for the 19. Bring it on.
Yeah, and it looks like both of you guys confident, composed. I'm looking forward to this one. Matt Lewis, any takes heading into this matchup?
You know, it's a couple of unknowns for me. I do know, I call Andrew Essler the candy man. That's how he's saved in my phone. This isn't quite candy, but there is a lot of sugar, so we'll see how he does. And I work with Rob Shimke. We used to go get lunch almost every day together. I've seen him put down some bibimbap faster than anybody on this planet. So we'll see how that plays and how that translates to ice cream today.
Bibimbap burritos.
It looks like we got our spoon technique ready to go. We are just about delidded. We already have our record holder who just set a record in our last matchup. So high stakes here. 37 seconds now, the new tournament record. And what kind of ice cream are we going to see each of you eating today, guys?
Haagen-Dazs.
Ben & Jerry's. 1,000 calories.
Ben & Jerry's vanilla, Haagen-Dazs birthday vanilla, and we are just about ready to go. Here is Matt Organista for the countdown.
All right, guys, any final words?
Let's eat.
All right, tops off, spoons in hand. Yeah, 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
So we are seeing our 2 competitors facing off now, both using the single spoon technique. And Matt, we talked about that double spoon technique we saw a lot yesterday. Haven't seen much of it.
Yeah, you know, I think people realize that it wasn't the way to go. That switching the spoons partway through is going to take some time. And, you know, with the thawing period that we have in place, you don't really need to heat that spoon. And it looks like they're able to slice through pretty easily here. So it's really going well. I'm really think that Robert's really pushing through right now. Andrew Essler is going the steady pace right now, the real steady pace.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure who has the upper hand right now. Oh, it's Rob Shimke. Are you done? Okay. Oh, I thought you had it. Rob is about halfway through this pint of ice cream right now. Andrew really pushing through himself, shaking his head. Okay, we're continuing on here. Andrew slowing down a little bit. Shimke doing all he can to keep that lead. Here's Andrew, another gulp right there. Really pushing through. We're getting down to the finish right here. Shimke neck and neck with Andrew. Andrew, final bite down.
We're done. Andrew.
Andrew takes the win over Shimke. That's
1 minute,
surprising.
15 seconds. 1 minute, 15 seconds.
Wow.
1
What a
minute, 15
competition.
seconds. That was good.
Both competitors holding their heads here, struggling through that brain freeze. Andrew, it looks like you were able to push through that brain freeze just a little bit quicker. How did you fight off the pain in your head?
You know, it's you really develop as a competitor as you're getting through the pint. I mean, you start off early, you're chewing, and you know, maybe I'll let this in for the guys that have a go. You just got to swallow it. So, you know, it gets tough. The brain freeze kicks in. You got to power through. And it carried me through. But what a competition so far. I don't know if I'm going to be anywhere near 37 seconds, but there's time to improve.
Well, it doesn't quite have to be 37 seconds for the next round. You got some time. You'll have a new competitor. So we will see you moving on to the Sweet Six Cream next week. Rob Shimke. Rob, we're grateful to have you on. You sported a beautiful hat here, but you came a little short. This was a tough one for you. Now, I know that you struggled with the brain freeze as well. You couldn't quite push through, could you? Rob, I think we have you muted real quick.
I think I made a tactical error in choice of brands. I really went for one that was heavy in sugar, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, we're grateful to have you on. We know that you're going to enjoy the rest of that ice cream for the rest of today. Maybe not today. Maybe you'll wait a second.
It's going back in the freezer
again. But grateful to have you guys on. You know, Matt Lewis, this was a great matchup today. Looked like both of them came in very confident, but ultimately Andrew comes out the victor.
Yeah, you know, I do think I agree with Rob that the brand choice there is what really got him. Nothing to take away from you, Andrew, in your excellent execution and competition. But definitely the Ben and Jerry's. It's a little thicker, it's a little creamier, it's a little richer, and we've seen some slower times. The empirical data is there.
Well, we are grateful to have you guys both on. Rob, that was a very valiant effort. Andrew, we're looking forward to seeing what you could do in the Sweet Six Cream. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Matt Organista, that was an impressive one there. We saw minute 15 seconds from Andrew, and he took the win. Now, is that what you were expecting heading into that matchup?
Yeah, I didn't know too much about what was going on with that one. Yeah, so let's see here. What's we got? Okay, so we got our two competitors in our waiting room. We're gonna take a quick a little break here. Matt Lewis, I'm gonna have you go ahead and explain here the corn dogs graphic. About what we're doing and where they can send that money to.
Absolutely. So here we have the matches for the rest of the day today. Rob Shimke and Andrew Essler just went with Andrew Essler taking the victory there. He'll be moving on to the Sweet Six Cream next Saturday. This will be followed by Lucas Baker and David Chesnowski, who are in the thawing room right now. Trevor Smith and Jeremy Clay, I have told them to take their ice cream out. They will be joining the thaw room here shortly. And this will be followed by a big matchup. We got Jimmy Bag of Donuts versus Caleb Gottschalk, the burly boy. And they will be seeing who will move on to the Sweet Six Cream. For donations, you can please donate to me at Dragon Daddy. Let me explain why we are doing a direct Venmo to my personal account. Some people may be asking, what's up with that? We do have a corporate sponsor that will be matching the donation at the end of this tournament. So I will have to do it from my personal account to get that match. And that is why we are doing a Venmo donation form. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me personally. I run the Instagram account for Ice Cream Challenge 2020. You can send me a DM and I'm happy to explain in further detail.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. So we are here. We're about ready to start our next matchup. We got our two competitors in the thawing room, letting that ice cream soften up a little bit. Matt, you want to go in and maybe talk a little bit about these two competitors, what we can expect?
These two guys, I did have to do a little bit of crowdsourcing to be able to get 32 people. I actually am not too familiar with them, so this is a little bit of an unknown. This is something that, if we were making odds, I would be have to go with even. One of these fierce competitors is a friend of Tim Busman's. One's a friend of Matteo Lupini, who have competed earlier, and they helped me get these people in. So it's a little bit of a battle unknown, but I definitely, to be honest, I think I'm going to put my just based off a photo, I'm going to go with Trevor Smith to take a victory here today.
All right, Trevor Smith. All right, let's go ahead and bring these guys in.
Oh, sorry. I was one ahead. We are on Lucas Baker and David. My apologies.
And Lucas and David coming in right now. Looks like they're and there we are. There is David. There is Lucas. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Dave, what's that satchel you got around? What do you got here? What do you got here? What is this?
This is my Colombian, honey, what does it say? Colombian flag.
No, I don't know what is the name.
Rufus, come on.
We got a great matchup.
My co-contestant.
Yeah.
Come on, Rufus.
Dave has a basset hound which he adopted from the SPCA. He's a 12-year-old basset hound. His name is Rufus, and he is a good boy.
And we have Lucas Baker with us as well. Lucas, thank you so much for joining us. Now I hear you won a talent competition in the 5th grade. Was that talent eating ice cream?
No, not even close. It was a feat of flexibility, of which I no longer have. So I cannot show it off today. I don't want to hurt myself before this competition, but it was pretty impressive, if I can say so myself.
Well, please follow Lucas Baker on Instagram. I'm sure he shows off his flexibility very often. We are looking forward to this matchup today. What kind of ice cream do we have on tap for you guys?
We have the Ben and Jerry's.
Ben and Jerry's vanilla and Haagen-Dazs vanilla, a pair of VVV. That's exactly what we're kind of looking for today. We have our basset hound over with Dave. Now, Dave, how is your hound going to help you today throughout this match? Have you got a 2-competitor system going on?
Yeah, no, he's got his own bowl, but he's gonna help me pace myself because I know how he eats. He's a fast eater, but I'm gonna pace myself. I'm gonna avoid the brain freeze. That is my technique.
Your kryptonite. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, we've seen a couple of unique techniques throughout this competition so far today. Are you guys just using the single spoon technique today?
Just one.
Yeah, I got the single. I went with the larger spoon, but like I said, small, fast scoops.
All righty. Well, we're looking forward to seeing that pace. I'm sending it over here for Matt Organista for the countdown.
All right, guys. Tops off. Spoons in hand. We have 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
And it looks like we are off. Lucas Baker off to a quick lead here. And Dave and his hound are having fun with this one. They're relaxing, they're eating, and they're having a blast. Lucas Baker really pushing through. Baker with a couple of small spoonfuls. Dave taking his time. It's the tortoise that wins the race, not the hare.
Juju, honey, you hit Rufus.
It looks like he's getting a little bit of a slowdown here. We're trying to get Rufus some water, and he's going to be eating some treats too. Lucas is really setting a good pace here, really going for it. I'm pretty impressed. What do you got here, Mac?
It looks like Lucas is really running away with it now. Dave leisurely in his ice cream eating, and as ice cream should be eaten, that's typically what we're expecting. But Lucas really putting his brain in there and brain at risk here for that brain freeze. We'll see if it slows him down a little further in this matchup.
You know, Lucas did send me a trial run where he tried the Halo Top brand, and he got it in a minute, under a minute. But it looks like this Ben and Jerry's is really slowing him down.
See, I told you. Look at Rufus's pace now.
That's so funny.
Yeah, Deb.
Oh my God.
Ready? So we have Lucas almost done with this matchup.
Rufus is faster. Rufus is faster.
We are
Lucas
1
is
minute
setting a good
and
pace.
40 seconds in. 1 minute, 40
1
seconds.
minute, 40 seconds
1
in.
minute 40.
This is harder than I thought.
And Lucas Baker looks like he got it done.
Oh my God.
148. 148.
Killed me.
48 seconds. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
So that's a pretty good time right there from Lucas. Lucas, it was a slow pace there from Dave. It looked like you had your pace from the get-go. What set you up for success for this one?
I gotta say, I prepared with the Halo top the other day. I was watching these other competitors. I already had the Ben & Jerry's in the freezer, and I was a little worried. So I just knew I had to come in and really just fight through it. And I might have to switch up the brand next round, but definitely a tough one to get through.
Absolutely, absolutely, Dave. It's a slower pace, but a leisurely, relaxed pace. You're having fun with this one.
It was a lot of fun. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was harder than I thought. I could feel even the slow pace. I get brain freezes easy, so I wasn't going to know how it was going to turn out today. But it was really fun. Lucas, congrats. Good luck. And I appreciate it. Rufus is still going strong.
Yeah, thanks, David. Thanks, Rufus.
Well, Dave, Rufus, thank you so much for joining us. Lucas, we're excited to see what you could do here in the Sweet Six Cream next week. Matt Lewis, that was an exciting one, and Lucas Baker came out the victor. How is he going to fare here in the Sweet Six Cream moving on?
Well, I'll tell you what, Max, it's definitely something where he's going to have to improve upon his score because it's time, I should say, because that's just not going to cut it in the Sweet Six Cream. But he's definitely something where I think he can improve upon, maybe strategize with his next ice cream choice, and definitely improve in the coming week.
So that was a great matchup here. I'm going to send this one over to Matt Organista. We're going to take a quick break. Thanks so much, Matt.
Yep, we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back here in about 2 minutes. All right. We are here with day 2 of the first round of the Ice Cream Challenge 2020. I'm joined by Max Kelton, and Matt Lewis should be here shortly. Max, go ahead and give us a little recap about what's going on.
Thanks, Matt. Yes, you are tuned into the 2020 Ice Cream Challenge, streaming live here on YouTube. Now, this is a March Madness style challenge where competitors will face off 1v1 to see who can finish a pint of ice cream quicker than the other. Max Kelton here with Matt Organista, Matt Lewis. Matt Lewis had previously set our tournament record time. Today, we saw that record beat previously at 39 seconds, today at 37 seconds. We're getting into our 7th matchup of the day and the penultimate matchup of this first round, this rocky road to the championship. Matt Lewis, what has this day of competition been like for you?
I'll tell you what, it's been really impressive. We've seen some really strong times. We've definitely seen some surprises, some upsets, and some broken hearts.
Certainly some broken hearts here. We've seen a couple of our competitors go home a little sad, disappointed after they could have left a little bit more on the line. But we are going to bring in our next competitors in just a second. We do have Trevor and Jeremy coming in. Now, Matt, we spoke a little bit about this before. You're not too familiar with these two competitors.
Yeah, sorry I jumped the gun on the last competition. I have a little text on the side here. So they were in my mind, but definitely not too familiar. It's going to be an even matchup and something where we'll have to see who wins.
And Matt Organista, I'm going to send it over to you to bring in these competitors.
All right. We're bringing in Trevor right now. Let's see what's going on. Trevor's in the competition room.
And it looks like Trevor connecting to audio and video here. Any word on Jeremy?
Looks like we're still waiting on Jeremy. I will go ahead and work on that right now.
So here is Trevor in our waiting room. Now, Trevor, you're the sole competitor in our waiting room right now. You're sole competitor here right now. Your competition has yet to show up. Does that say more about your potential in this competition, or more about how he's afraid of you in this competition?
I don't know. It's playing mind games on me. I'm not quite sure. If it's either his fear full of me, or if he's trying to come in last minute and mess with me. So I'm a little nervous, actually.
Yeah, it could be a big entry right here. But Trevor, you eat pieces of ice cream like me for breakfast. That's what you're all about. How's that going to help you throughout this competition today?
Yeah, that was a lie just to intimidate my competitors. It's not going to help me. I'm not very confident in myself, but now I am pretty confident my competitor's not here, so it might be a free win.
Yeah, so it looks like Jeremy is not in this thawing period. Not quite sure what's going on here, but we're going to give it a couple of minutes. And if we have to default to victory, we're going to do just that. You've earned yourself a free pint of ice cream and a trip to the Sweet 6 Cream. So we have 3 minutes here. 3 minutes is our waiting time. I'm going to do my best to try and bring in Matt Organista to explain this a little bit, explain what we have on tap. This is the first time a competitor has yet to show up.
Yeah, so we could do one of two situations here. We can do a DQ, so we have our competitor does an automatic win by default for a no-show, and then we could also do a triple header next round. But we will make that decision here shortly in the next couple of minutes. Please stand by.
So Trevor, you're wearing the orange and the purple today. Tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, no, I wore a little, got a horse on it. I was going to channel my inner speed, my inner, spirit animal. The hat, just kind of threw it on, add a little flair. All a little last minute though, anything to get, build myself some inspiration.
Absolutely, absolutely. And where are you located today, Trevor?
San Francisco. Yep.
I've certainly heard of it, up in the Bay.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah. So, it looks like we're still waiting for Jeremy to come into this competition here. Trevor, have you been following along with the rest of your competition so far throughout this ice cream challenge?
I have been. Yeah, I took some notes yesterday, talked to some of the competitors from yesterday, tried to give myself some advantage there. A couple of them have been telling me there've been a lot of pain from the toothaches, and so I don't want a free win. I'll take the free one, and if it saves some toothaches and prepares me for next weekend, I guess I'll take it if I have to.
And it looks like we might have our competitor coming in just a second. So don't get ahead of your marbles, right?
Yeah,
right.
Definitely got a little ahead of my marbles.
Don't want to count your chickens. Just be ready to go. So Matt Lewis, Matt Organista, I'm going to join you guys here. And here is Jeremy Clay. Thank you so much for joining us, Jeremy.
I don't want a free win. I'll take the free one. And if it saves some toothaches and prepares me for next weekend, I guess
Jeremy Clay.
How's it going, guys?
Making the cut, barely. Welcome.
Can we make sure that we have the broadcast off if you have it playing in your house?
Don't want to count your chickens. Just be ready to go. So Matt Lewis. Alrighty. We are ready. We are ready to rock and roll here. Trevor, Jeremy, we're just about ready to get underway. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to send this one over to Matt Organisa here for the countdown.
All right, guys, tops off, spoons in hands. Wow, fancy ice cream there. 5.
It's all they have.
4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
And we are off. Jeremy digging in quick. Might not have had enough time to thaw that ice cream. It's pretty thick. Here is Trevor looking to maintain a little bit of a lead right here, but Trevor's slowing down as well. Now, Jeremy, it looks like he has maybe something to cover up if he's getting a little bit
Tactical
mad.
trash bag.
Yeah, the tactical garbage bag. A lot of unique techniques throughout this competition so far. Trevor really muscling down this ice cream. Jeremy's got a little milk on his face. He's pushing through. It's neck and neck at this point. We're halfway through the tub of ice cream. Jeremy trying to push off that brain freeze, really making sure that he's keeping his pace. Trevor going gulp for gulp, spoonful for spoonful here. Trevor really pushing through. The orange hat, the flair, giving him that excitement, that willpower. He'll take off the orange hat, and he's ready to finish off this ice cream. We are neck and neck, coming down to the wire here. End of the tub for both Jeremy and Trevor. Trevor switching out his spoons, and he's back digging in. Jeremy close behind, coming right down to the final seconds here. And it looks like Trevor has done it. He will take the win.
1 minute, 19 seconds. 1 minute, 19 seconds. Official time.
Wow. So we have a 79-second right there from Trevor. Trevor, an impressive performance. Jeremy, we thank you for joining us. That was a good one today. But the trash bag, you think it was a little too much of a distraction, or it helped keep yourself clean?
I think it made me too hot. It distracted me. Trevor, though, great competitor. I love what you guys are doing. And hopefully I get invited back to do next year's.
we absolutely, we definitely will invite you back. We're excited to have you guys on. Trevor, that was a great win today. You weren't quite sure if you were ready to compete, if you were going to compete, but when you did, you took the top off. No pun intended. What did it take to really down that ice cream, down that full pint?
Yeah, I definitely got a little confused with the mental game of him not joining a little late, and I was prepared to not eat. And then last minute I found out I was eating, so I was glad I was able to come through today, but it was a lot harder than I thought. I got the win, so I'm okay with myself, but I really wanted to beat, minute 10. Didn't do it today, so there's always next weekend though.
Well, we're so grateful to have you guys on. Jeremy, thank you for being a part of this competition. And next year, we're excited to see what you can do. Trevor, thank you so much for joining us, and we're excited to see what you can do next week in the Sweet Six Cream. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Matt Organisa, that was an impressive one. We got underway just a little bit late there, so we might take a quick break.
Yes, we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. All right. We are here for the day 2 of round 1 for the Ice Cream Challenge 2020. I'm joined by Max Kelton and Matt Lewis. Let's do a little recap today, guys. And this is our last matchup for the day. Is that correct?
That is correct. Welcome into the 2020 Ice Cream Challenge. Now, this is a 32 competitor March Madness style bracket where competitors will face off 1v1 to see who can finish a pint of ice cream quicker than the other. Max Kelton joined alongside by Matt Lewis, Matt Organista as well. Matt Lewis, that was an impressive feat in that last matchup, 79 seconds. Now we've seen a couple more impressive times today, and we're going to see a great matchup to finish off Day 2 and the rocky road to the championship. This is that marquee matchup that you've been talking about, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. We got two fierce competitors here. One, the pride of Philly, the 6'8" Jimmy Bag of Donuts, going against Mr. America himself, the burly boy, Caleb Gottschalk. He's got business in the front, party in the back. He's rocking a mullet, and he's ready to eat some ice cream.
Alrighty, well, we're just about ready to bring these guys in. Matt Organista, pardon, do we have them in the thawing room?
We have James in the thawing room at the moment. Are they going to be sharing screen, or is it going to be double? Both.
It'll be double. We should be getting Caleb here shortly.
Okay. We'll stand by for that. Let's go ahead and bring James in, and we'll do a little interview with James.
So James was in the thawing room. The thawing room gives our contestants an opportunity to warm up that ice cream, make it easier to slice through, scoop up, and put a mouthful in. Thank you, James, for being here. And we are excited to have you on now. James, 6'8", and you love ice cream. Is that height, that stature going to help you today? He certainly hopes so. Matt, I know you're so excited about this competitor. What does he do so well?
He's just pure competition. He's really takes the bowl by the horns. He takes the spoon by the fork, and he takes the lid off the ice cream, and he eats it really fast.
Well, Jimmy Bags, we're excited to see what you can do today. What's that hat you got on? You're rocking the cowboy hat, yeah? Looks like we might not be hearing Jimmy at this point. Might be a technical difficulty with his sound. Not quite sure if he's muted, what the deal is here. Matt Organista will figure that out in just a second. We're waiting on Caleb to join in here. Matt Lewis, talk to me about why this matchup is better than all other matchups today.
I think both of these competitors bring a lot of attitude. They've had some good sparring back and forth on social media. They got some fans. Really rooting for them. And they got some personality. I did just hear from Caleb. He is going to be coming in shortly. It may be a slight delay, but it's okay. It's the last matchup of the day, and we don't have a schedule to keep. So let's go ahead and keep waiting for Caleb to join in here. And really, let's make sure we do this last one right.
Yeah, Caleb was in, and then he hopped out. So I'm going to wait for him to get back in. I believe we have audio now for James. So, James, can you hear us?
Appreciate it. I can hear y'all. Y'all hear me?
Yes, we
can.
can.
We can hear you.
Bags. How we doing? 6'8", and you love ice cream. How's that going to help you today?
I think it'll give me the courage and the strength to keep it going, to devour this pint of ice cream, and show really who's boss here, and can move on to the next round. So I'm ready to go.
And
I have a question for you.
You're facing off against. Yeah.
Jimmy, you were referenced to this competition by Joey Federico, who calls himself Joey Bag of Donuts, and then you have a nickname, Jimmy Bag of Donuts. Can you kind of explain what the Bag of Donuts is all about?
Us boys, we love the Bag of Donuts. We love the donuts. Federico and I go way back to when I was about 5 years old.
There we go.
Some time. He's a good man.
And now we're joined by Caleb. Caleb also goes by the name of Mike.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're on, buddy. You're live.
What's the question?
Caleb, how are we doing today? It looks like you're rocking the sunglasses here for the style.
Oh yeah, these old things. Just picked them up today, half off.
And Caleb, I hear you're better at snowboarding than Johnny Tsunami. Can that help you today as you're carving through this ice?
Yeah, that was actually a typo. It was supposed to say surfing.
Even better.
Do what you can, bud.
And I see you go by the name of Mike here. Is that a surname of any sort?
State. Ralby.
Yeah.
Go fight in the route.
Absolutely. Chili State.
All right.
So this is the marquee matchup today. James, you're taking on Caleb. why is today the marquee matchup? Why are you two so evenly matched?
I guess
We're not evenly matched.
Oh, shots are fired. What do you have to say to that, Jimmy?
He's not.
Any response?
Matthew, he's just not ready.
Okay. All right.
Not about the length, buddy. It's about the girth. Let's go.
Baby, all about how you use it.
Hey, if you don't use it, you lose it. Let's get going, boys.
Is that true?
Okay, I'm sending this one over to Matt Organista for the countdown.
All right, guys, tops off. Tops off, spoons in hands. This is your 5-second warning. 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
And looks like Jimmy is using that chug technique that we've seen throughout the day today. That is Caleb, who's having a little bit of trouble getting his ice cream going. He's struggling a little bit to maybe it's not thawed the right way. So here is Jimmy, who's coming out to a bit, really taking a big gulp. Look at maintain that pace, that composure.
This is impossible.
Jimmy doing all he can to get the rest of his ice cream.
Are you kidding me?
Caleb's struggling through that brain freeze. Keeps a little bit out.
He can't keep it down. It's something.
This is impossible.
The brain freeze affects other people.
This is the worst thing ever.
I'll tell you what, Jimmy Bag of Donuts is really going for right now. It looks like he's gonna be taking this one home.
No.
We're at 50 seconds. 50 seconds.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
Looks like Jimmy Bags is putting this one away, but neither of them beating that tournament record time. Jimmy Bags almost got it done.
Jimmy Bags,
104. 104.
And we have a ungracious loser, and Caleb Godstock. He's out of here, but I'll tell you what, he has been on the horn for those donations, and we do appreciate that this is going to charity, and he's done a great job with that. Max, to you.
I mean, Jimmy Bag of Donuts, that was an impressive performance right there. Now you'll take a little bit of a coffee or tea to warm yourself up. Matt Organista, what was the final time we had on that one?
We had 1 minute, 4 seconds was the final time, 64 seconds.
Jimmy, is that the time that you wanted, or could you think you could do a little bit better?
I chose the Bluebell Vanilla, and I think it might have been a little bit too thick, a little bit too creamy. I think I'll do a couple more practice rounds, and I'm ready for this next competition. Whoever I'm going to be matching up with, prepare to lose. Let's go.
Well, Jimmy, we're excited to see what you can do here in the Sweet 6 Cream coming next week. Thanks so much for joining us.
Have a good one.
All right, thanks, Jimmy.
Matt, I mean, what a way for this first round to go out. A big performance there from Jimmy Bag of Donuts.
Yeah, it really was a great performance. He really stuck to his game plan. He had a nice, consistent eating pace, and it ended up winning. It just looked like Caleb just couldn't handle the coldness. His hair was long in the back, short in the front, and maybe if it was a little longer in the front, it would have kept his brain from freezing so much. Yeah, and now, first round of competitions under our belt. We are fully done with all 32 competitors. You've seen each of them. Who has stood out the most, and who else has surprised you the most? I think we gotta go to Grant. Grant Nelson, best looking guy in the competition. He really surprised me. He really delivered a top-notch performance. I don't think there's much room for improvement on his part, and I think I do have some room, so I'm definitely gunning for him. Some other key factors here, participants here was Tim Busman with that time of 48 seconds, and then Ken Rodriguez coming in at 41. These four are the top lead dogs coming into the next round, the Sweet 6 Cream. Yeah, so it looks like those four could be the final ones throughout this final four. Matt, you mentioned four people right there. You didn't mention yourself. Who do you think is your toughest competition moving forward? Oh man, I think it is going to have to be the Grant man. He's the one that has the best time, and he's the lead dog, and we're all trailing him at this point. So he's the guy that everybody has a target on his back with, and he's the guy that's going to come down to the end here. And we're going to try and show these graphics here for the final bracket. That's what we're looking over for. I'm going to send this one over to Matt Organista real quick. And Matt,
Exactly. Here. So this is what our brackets are looking like as we move on to the Sweet Six Cream, which will kick off next Saturday. Matt Lewis, that is you, Matt Lewis, that we're on here with, going against Connor Lewis, your nephew. That's an exciting matchup for you. But Connor Lewis, you have about 3 minutes on his time. Is this one where you'll take it a little bit easier, kind of ease your way into this matchup, or are you looking to beat your tournament best?
You know, I think at this point, given the competition, the field, I'm going to have to really try and improve my time. So I'm not going to hold back against my nephew. I'm going to try and beat that 37-second time. I'm really going to be gunning sub 35. I think that's going to be my goal for the next round.
Yeah, and Jacob, looks like he has a minute 22 on Mateo's first round performance heading into round 2 on Saturday next week. Is there any way that Mateo can catch up to that pace from Jacob Gray?
Well, you know, Mateo is the one that went with the 2-spoon technique. And I think, you know, maybe if he looks back at the footage, does some film work over the week and really studies his performance, he might ditch the 2-spoon technique, go with the 1 spoon and shave off some time.
And we're going to look at the second side of our bracket here after everybody has now competed. So Tyler Berger moves on. He'll be facing off against Tim Busman. And we know how much you like Tim throughout this competition. We know how much you're not a fan of Tyler's eating habits throughout this competition. So it's a pretty clear favorite for you, Matt.
I'd say 10-1 odds, easy. I'm really think that Tim Busman's going to come out on the top there. And I mean, you know, if I was a betting man, I'd bet the house on Timmy Busman.
Great, absolutely. Julian Trent and Mike Wagner. Mike got the best of them. Shobin and Graydon. Shobin took the win. Shobin has about 41 seconds, on Mike. Can Mike make up that time?
You know, I think he can. I think that's a manageable time to make up. I think after seeing some of these other competitors, he can really improve his time, and he's gonna have to put the work in though. Winning doesn't come easy, and you got to put the work in.
Yeah, so those will be our 4 matchups for that Saturday round next Saturday on May 2nd. We had a pretty great day of matchups as well today, and it looks like Stuart and Andrew took the win. Ken Rodriguez and Owen. We didn't see Owen compete. We saw his brother Emmett. Ken and Stuart will be facing off in the Sweet Six Cream.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to give the edge to Ken right now because he really is the one that has set a great time of 41 seconds. Stuart got sub 1 minute, so it's gonna be a great battle. I think Stuart obviously has some room for improvement too. Something that I think I'll give the slight edge to Ken at this point.
And we see right below Evan going up against Grant, who set that 37-second tournament record time. Can Evan keep up?
I hate to say it, but I don't think Evan can keep up. I think Grant's gonna have a path to the finals here. It'll be a good matchup going into the overweight 8. If Ken and Grant face each other, that 41-second, that 37-second time, it's gonna be a close one.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking for, the overweight 8. That's when things are going to get interesting. Our final bracket of the day, we're going to move over one more time. This is what we just saw here. Rob Shimke going against Andrew Essler, and Andrew took the win over Rob Shimke. Andrew will be facing off, I believe it was against Lucas. It will be against Lucas, and that's that Saturday round.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be pretty even matched. I think that Lucas had deviated away from his practice ice creams. He went with the Ben & Jerry's, which we've seen throughout the competition as being a tougher ice cream to eat. And I think with a little strategic switch of ice creams, Lucas is going to make it a competition.
Trevor Smith moving on will go against Jimmy Bag of Donuts, James Bagnall. Jimmy Bags has that 64-second time. Trevor Smith at 79 seconds, a 15-second differential. Can we see an upset in this second round?
I do think that the upset is possible. I think Jimmy needs to come in here and not take it light. You can't look at that time and let that off the gas. It's all gas, no break, baby. Just like the Hot Boys on the linebacking crew of the 49ers. Shout out, baby. Let's go. I really do think that it's going to be a good matchup there.
So it should be an exciting one, and we will see you again next week as we move on to the Sweet Six Cream. You've been tuned into the 2020 Ice Cream Challenge streaming live here on YouTube. I'm Max Kelton, joined alongside by Matt Lewis, Matt Organista. This is a 32 competitor March Madness style bracket where competitors will face off 1v1 and see who can finish a pint of ice cream quicker than the other. All proceeds here go to COVID-19 relief. I'm going to send it over to Matt Organista for a little more about this.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get that graphic up here. Yep, there we go. Matt, maybe you can tell us a little bit about this and what's going on with this whole fundraiser and how it got started.
Absolutely. Just a recap of this fundraiser, how it got started and why we're doing it. Again, the first matchup of the day today between Stuart Giada and Andrew Foray was the inspiration for this tournament. Something that's gone back 10 years. The question, who can eat the most ice cream and who can eat the fastest between those two friends. It really extrapolated into a tournament, and we decided, you know what, we're all staying at home. We all have some time on our hands. Let's put the effort in, let's put the work in, and let's raise some money for COVID-19 relief. I am fortunate enough to work at a place where they will match my donation, and so I will be accepting Venmos for donation purposes. I will be submitting a lump sum to a couple different charities that I can donate to. You can Venmo me at Dragon Daddy. As of this morning, I don't have the recent updates. I've been seeing Venmos come in. We were at $5,200 raised, and also we were doing a bracket challenge. The bracket challenge pot was $1,600. The $800 of that going home to the champion with the best bracket. We will also be doing, starting at the overweight 8, a live betting on the matches for additional audience engagement as well as fundraising tactics.
Well,
very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Anything that we got to add before we move on and before we're done with our rocky road to the championship this first round?
I do want to highlight that we had announced that we're going to be splitting up the round 2, the Sweet 6 Cream on Saturday, Sunday. I think we're going to go ahead and just hold all 8 matches on Saturday. So a quick broadcasting update on that, and it will be a 3 p.m. start just like today, Saturday, May 2nd, the Sweet 6 Cream.
Well, be there or be square. I'm excited for it. I'm sure you are as well. But I think that's all we got for you, Matt Organista. Anything else to add?
Nope, that's it. We are good to go until next week. So make sure you guys tune in next week at 3 p.m.
Well, you've been tuned into the 2020 Ice Cream Challenge. If you like what we're doing, please Venmo at Dragon Daddy or follow us on Instagram at Ice Cream Challenge 2020. I'm Max Kelton. I've been joined alongside by my partner, Matt Lewis, alongside as well by Matt Organista. We're grateful to have you guys on, and I'm looking forward to seeing what is going to happen throughout this competition next week. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon.